welcome. So I'm still grinding from the $2 Zoom games, trying to build up a bit of a stack. It's happening very slowly, as it does with $2 games. Interesting to note that I've now paid £10 in bounty in $10 in rake. And made I'm just playing $2 games, so $10 in rake is quite a lot. So that just sort of emphasises how long it takes you to kind of beat the rake on these things. Pair of fives held up. That's a good start. So yeah, I was down to about $3 yesterday, slightly less than that. And I've now got about $7, including what's at the table. So yesterday I had about $15, but I played a load of tournaments and very cheap tournaments, but didn't cash any of them and had some kind of bad beats, so it was going well. So back down to grinding up again, which is fine. The tactic is to keep in the safe zones. I've always got a bit of money in reserve. Suit connectors, we can play those. Just got about half an hour in this session. Open into straight draws, check that through, hit the straight. There's all sorts of things out there, like full houses and stuff. Can't assume my straight's good for now. He might have a full house, but I think the straight has to have precedence. Excellent, he hasn't got a full house. Very glad I just checked that and hope for the straight on the turn rather than slamming it in. Top pair, decent kicker, fairly well concealed as I just called that. Catch a straight draw in there as well now. They have low ace, I imagine. They had ace 6 of clubs, excellent, so they were going for the flush and had the ace. Not enough to carry on there really. Couple of overcards, I can do better than that. So I'm quite enjoying this process. It's all very well having like $200 in your bank account and then you don't roll and then playing $50 games and going up to 300 and all that. That's enjoyable. But it's also enjoyable challenging yourself to get from no money to some money. And I've been doing that regularly. So I've gone from not very, like 4 cents at one point, like managed to get out that up to 30 quid, and then played in tournaments and stuff and got back down again. So I've been up and down a bit with these tournaments and not had to buy in again. So sometimes I've gone right down to nothing, but or very nearly nothing, but managed to squeak my way back in again. And sometimes that involves being patient. When we're patient, so you have to kind of, when you get down to that little money, then you can't take any risks. And actually that's pretty good discipline, because when people are lazzing money in at you, they generally have something. Okay, let's take this as a case in point. I don't think that 14 big blind racing scroll is a complete bluff. Let's have a look. Let's see how it plays out. I'd like to stay with the hearts down. We don't get much information. Well, since Scroll play 40% of the 10 hands, Mario has played 38%, so 50% of 9 hands. You get 50% exactly. Doesn't really help. It looks like it does, but it doesn't. Still need a jack. I'm not going to try and bluff that. I should try and bluff that as a straight draw. I should try and bluff that. Anyway, didn't. Top pair, okay, kicker. King queen. Flush. Draw. I've got the ace blocker for that. Seems very determined that he's got a good hand, doesn't he? I don't think he has. He's got 2 pair. King 7. Slightly let that happen, didn't I? This is why you don't slow play an ace. That was not textbook, but gets me a nice return. forced into playing this hand. Didn't really want to. Second pair, so it's worth continuing. Kind of hoping for a 6 here. Hoping they're going for the flush draw. Oh, there's just a nice. Always slightly confused by donk bet in these situations. Never quite know what to do. So probably kind of a weakness of mine actually to how to respond to donk bets. Set mining and didn't hit a set, so out of there. I'll be set mining again here. No set. Very surprised I didn't see bet that. It's a very weak C bet. They've either got the nuts or they're going to fold to any sort of aggression. Luckily it was the latter. The bullets, the pocket aces, yay! Everyone's going to fold straight away, as they always do when you've got pocket aces. On the Zoom game at least. Most people play with aces, or at least an ace and something. The majority of the hands people play with have an ace and something, so if they're not playing with aces, they've generally got a pair. Sometimes, you know, there's still 2 aces left in the pack, so sometimes they've got them, but having 2 of them massively reduces the chance of having an ace. And if they do have an ace, then there's all sorts of kind of very low aces that they might not be interested in. Okay, on the turn, I'm sort of betting out a turn here. Not that strong to have a king and a 10 kicker. King and jack kicker now. Oh, yeah, queen. Told it wasn't very strong. Those guys played 60% of hands. It's 3 bet. 66%. I reckon his 3 bet is about the weakest 3 bet you can imagine. But not folding. Did not expect them to carry on hammering at it after a 4 bet there. I thought they would crumble, but maybe they're just an absolute nutter, and that works for some people. So after being $1 up, I'm now 50 cents down. 60 cents down. 20 minutes left on the session. guy hasn't played any of the 8 hands I've seen before, so I'll assume that's a fairly tight raise. I know nothing about 2Ks. I haven't seen him play before, so just get out of harm's way on that one. So I quite like my Dr. Chill poker logo, but I think I could be making better use of the space. The Dr. Chill looks a little bit small, doesn't it? Maybe put the cards above, line in the middle, make it look better in a circle. Overcard here. That's enough. I thought the other 5 rays was sort of making out they had something, but just a C bet. Call that. They are tight. No, I don't want to get involved in that. A lot of opportunities to lose your stack, and not a lot of opportunities to stack the other guy with ace 3 suited, ace 5 suited, or maybe worth a 4 bet, depending on the opposition. But if they were tight, so I wouldn't do that against a tight player. Now that's what I wanted. I've hit my set. They seem totally uninterested in this, unfortunately. Shame. No set this time. No open-ended straight draw. No nothing really. 15 minutes left of this session. I could have continuation bet there, but didn't much risk they had kings or queens, which I don't seem to have. The heart draw out there now. end up with nothing. Tempted to check raise that when the heart came out, because they're probably going for hearts. Anyway. Sticking around with that one. So that 21 says to me they weren't going for hearts. They were probably got a set that they were trying to get me to react to. So connectors have not done much the most suiting or connecting. Just about worth carrying all that jack, isn't it? Yeah, they have the ace as you might expect. So after a good start, it's not been the best of sessions. So I've got some quite good stats on these players now, so should be able to make some progress. But as we saw when I tried to 4-bet with the jack king, someone you think might be hugely loose is not necessarily take any prisoners. And I don't think I should have been in this hand. They do not seem interested, so I'm going to try for the expensive steal. Don't know why I'm in this hand. Seemed kind of cheap enough to call a big blind, but then didn't actually have a good hand. Keep reminding myself it's a Zoom game and you can just click through a load of bollocks until you get something good.